Welcome to the Becoming series. This series are all for you to learn a lot of things, and we're going to go step by step. Series 1 is talking about who am I? Who am I? All right. It's an identity series, and the purpose is to help you understand yourself. And so, the first episode we have for you is the crisis of identity. I want you to go along with me. The crisis of identity. So today we're going to talk about the crisis of identity, and I want us to see something that there are a lot of people in the world today that have been affected. Millions of people are affected all over the world. Every nation, profession, even age group and social classes, they have this issue, this invisible crisis of identity, and that is why we're here. Now, the thing is that it is not poverty. It is not really lack of education. It is not that we lack opportunity or we lack value in the society. It's not that we lack things. We are the most opportune generation. But the problem is that there's a crisis of identity. Many people have spent their years building on what they are told, not what they discover by themselves. They build their careers, their relationship, even their businesses. Is it ministry? Is it your reputation? They build it on what someone told them. And they have secretly, unknown to them, carried just this one unanswered question that I keep asking people. Who am I really? Who am I really? Now, identity is not what you really do. It's not what you do. It's not what you do. It's not what people call you actually. It is not really what you have achieved in life. But who are you beneath all these things? What you do, what you have achieved, what people call you, that big name that you see there. This is the question that many people out there, they are looking for that very answer. Who am I? Who am I really? You see, this question is actually more important than the most things you see on this earth. And people are realizing it gradually. They are finding it difficult to know their real self. Do you know why? It is because every human being that you see on earth lives from an identity. It's either is unconscious or it is unconscious. Okay, now let us discuss what is identity. Identity actually is a foundation upon which every decision that you make in life, the relationship, the ambitions that you have, those belief system, and the behavior that you have, they are built on what we call that very word identity, the foundation. That foundation that you build your behavior, your belief system, your ambitions, your relationship, your decision. That very foundation you build all these things on is called identity. And now, when identity is actually cleared in you, your life has direction. Your life has direction. And when this identity that we're talking about is really not clear, you become chaotic. You become somebody that is reactionary. You react to things. You are not acting from a place of identity. You are reacting. All right, so now this is the problem that people have in the world today. They have this problem in the world today. That you see, people are living according to the way that circumstances come around them. They don't live according to conviction. People live in the world today because of the trends. They are living according to trends, the expectation, the fears, the social pressure, what is happening, what I can gain. And that is a big tragedy that humanity needs to overcome. I can tell you for free that many people have reached their old age without even realizing or discovering who they truly are. This is a big problem. I want us to go back again and also explain more deeper about this word identity. If I will say That identity is your understanding of who you are. You understanding who you really are from your inner core. That is, from the inside of you, you understand who you really are. That it is the internal answer to all your questions. All the questions you'll be asking, what will you say about that? Let's look at it in this way. When everything external is gone, when everything is being removed, who are you internally? What are you left with? If your job has gone off, you have been driven out of a country, out of your society, you've been banished, your title vanishes, your money disappears, everything is gone. Nobody gives you the applause, nobody praise you, nobody say good things about you. Who are you by then? What will you be? That's a question you need to ask yourself. Now, you see, I will say this very clearly, that identity actually exists beneath roles. It exists beneath roles. Listen to me, your career is not you. Those achievements, those failures, those social status, those whatever you can call it, names, followership you have in your social media platform or whatsoever in your ministry, they are not you. The you is different. Identity is who you are. You know, those things I've mentioned are just things that you have, but they are not you. And because the world is confused, people doesn't know really about it carefully. They confuse identity with their performance, with their outcome. Identity is not your outcome. It's not your performance. And so because of this thing now, you see that in life, people spend their lives remaining in that very arena or that state of performance, of outcome. You know, they prove themselves like, okay, this is who I am, through their career, through their status, through their followership, through whatever. They don't even understand themselves. You see, there is a big modern identity crisis that we have. You know, the previous generation, let me be very frank with you, they struggle for really survival. You know, they always want to see how they can eat, this and that and that. But really today, in this our generation, the struggle is self-definition. Simply self-definition. You know, I want you to look at this very carefully. You know, never in history have people had so much, you know, there are so many ways people are expressing themselves today. They express themselves in so many ways. And simultaneously, still in the same way, they are so confused about themselves. They can express themselves in so many ways, but still confused about themselves. You know, you look at the social media platform, the social media era and everything, you can create different versions of yourself. You can do a lot of, society even give you the opportunity, you know, like just like the film industry, they give you opportunity to act in different roles and so on. But the truth is that many of them don't understand who they are. They don't understand who they are. They've constructed their identity by themselves with all these roles instead of discovering themselves. This is a problem. And in that sense, you see this internal fragmentation. You know, they are fragmented. You know, they are just separated among themselves. They don't even have a flow around their life. This is a big problem, and it needs solution. It needs solution today. You know, I have seen that you see someone that has identity at work differently, he has identity online differently, he has another one at his house at home, he has another one with friends separately, he has with just you are just diversified. I don't know what to say. You are too many things in one person. You don't really know yourself. And you know, the truth is that they become strangers to their own self. They are so much of a stranger to themselves. I want us to look at something very deep. And I want us to see the 3 levels of identity that are really giving us problem. You know, identity, if you are not careful enough, you think that identity is what someone calls you. All right. So the first one is assigned identity. Let's look at that very well. When someone say you are useless, when someone say you are very smart, oh, you are beautiful, you are this, I see that in a lot of ladies. When they say you are beautiful, the thing goes into your head and you feel like you are on top of the world. Yes, you are beautiful, but that is not who you are. That is not the real you. This identity was given to you by others. It is not really the you. And some of this identity, this assigned identity I'm talking about, comes from parents, friends, teachers, relations, and so on, society. Even your culture tells you this is who you are. And we have accepted this very level of identity. We never question who we really are. The sincere truth. We spend all our life believing what people told us. And the funniest thing, someone that is in Johannesburg will tell you you're beautiful. Someone in the United States will tell you you're not beautiful. So how many identities will you have at the same time? Why don't you discover who you are and stick to that? The second level of identity that I have noticed is the constructed identity. This is this is what happens to us. That is what happened in the past generation, whereby people, they will create this identity from survivor. When maybe you are rejected emotionally, when you have a lot of fracas when you were still young, when you are growing old, you start to construct something, an identity from that very emotional dismay. You create that. You see that a child that was bullied will live a life or identity around that toughness. It's just like when I was listening to someone who was telling me a story of when he had a girlfriend, and the girlfriend, because before they had anything together, they always fight. That is when everything becomes good. And when I asked him some questions, I noticed that the father always fight with the mother, and the father was a soldier. So that identity has been created, has been constructed from that very thing. And that is what you see people doing today. So many people, they actually, people that we see today, they operate, especially adults, or people that have grown up, or young people, they are still operating from that very level. That strategies that they developed when they were still children, when they were still young, when they saw war in their country, that thing is still in them. They have not removed those identities. They have not put them aside as history and claim their real identity. Now let's go to the next one, which is the last one, the authentic identity. Now, this is where you discover yourself. This is when you put expectations, wounds, labors and fears and performance, acting and everything behind you, beneath you. And you now ask yourself the simple question, who am I? This is when you discover yourself through self-awareness, through experience, through reflection and personal growth. This is where true freedom begins. If you want freedom, it begins from authentic identity, discovering yourself through self-awareness, through reflection, through experience and personal growth. Now, the truth is that when you discover yourself, when you know who you are, you stop trying to become somebody else. That's the truth. You stop becoming like somebody else because you have grown to the level that you can say, this is who I am. 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 Now, just take a deep breath. Let us look at something very, very deep again. What has caused this identity crisis? What has really caused it? Now, the thing is that what really caused identity crisis in you today that is listening to me, or someone else who is listening to me right now, is because you've looked outside yourself. And you've searched for identity through your success, or through your relationship, or through somebody, or through wealth, or through status, or through popularity, or through something, or through the followership you have on social media, or through your appearance. That is where the problem starts. Now, the funniest thing is that these things, they changes all the time. Your appearance can change. A woman who was beautiful when she was young, when she's getting old, will no more be beautiful as that. Even though you try to put all the foundation on your face and so on, you will still look old. So if your identity is depending on it, that means your identity changes all the time. That means you are not yourself, you're unstable. You are very, very much unstable. Listen very carefully. It's just like you building a house on the sand. Storms will come and throw it away and the foundation will go away. But when you build your house on a solid rock, it stands firm forever. This is what happens to this identity attached to these external realities and so on that you're talking about. This is what happened. And people are suffering because they don't know who they are. They weigh themselves. They say, I am this because of this. They don't really know who they are. You know, I feel a little bit, should I say, I feel like I can see you and talk to you right now. All right? People are wearing different marks. I mean marks on their face. This identity gives you a confused marks. And you wear something that is not your own. You wear physical marks, you wear psychological marks, you wear some successful marks. You just begin to wear different marks, spiritual marks. You know, you are not yourself. You are just everything that is around you. And you see, you know, the truth is this. The marks will surely end one day. It will wipe away, just like something that the water will wipe away. And people will begin to see another person again and they become confused. So you see, these marks make them to become performers. They are not just like an artist that is singing. You perform on the stage, so you become a performer to people, not becoming your real self. So the thing that happens to you is this is what happens. All these marks I've talked about, there are so many of them. Intelligence marks, the happy marks, the tough marks, just different marks that you create for yourself. Do you know what happens to you? You begin to have a kind of fear within you. What will people say if they discover who I am really? When they discover who I am really, what would they say? So because of that, you keep wearing different marks and adding more, and your life becomes miserable. Your life becomes miserable. I want to give an example of, let me give you a story of a prince who was actually not with his family as a child and grew up as a beggar. And this prince comes back home and he was told that he's a royalty. He was told that he's a royalty. Now, the truth is this. What actually changed in him is not the beggar, the clothes that he put on, or the location, or his bank account, or his circumstances. What is going to change if he's ready is his understanding. Listen, the understanding of that prince is that I am no more a beggar, really I am a prince. So identity really change before circumstances changes. If you want your circumstances to change, you change your identity. And once your identity change, let me tell you the truth, your behavior begins to change. Your behavior begins to change. You know, the truth is that you can't rise above your identity. You can't rise above your identity. Because why? You believe in that. You believe in that. Because you have put on that very marks on you. Listen very carefully. I don't know why I'm saying this. I want to put myself in your shoes. Many people really rise above the identity they believe, because you believe on it. But the truth is that you can rise above your identity. Do you know why many people do this? Do you know why people do this? Because it is uncomfortable to discover yourself. It might sound attractive. Oh, self-discovery. You hear it on seminars, but it is very uncomfortable and rigid. It's disturbing. Because it will require you to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to confront your fears, you know. You confront your insecurities, your contradictions. You confront even your own belief. Your own belief, you confront them. And so it is something that is not comfortable at all. And because of that, many people will run away. They rather remain with that one that they are in, that is okay with them. At least nobody's disturbing them. That is why you see that there are endless entertainment, busyness by everybody, and noise everywhere, just so that the attractiveness can just be there. The truth is this. I want to tell you something now. Silence forces self-confrontation. I repeated it 3 times. Silence forces self-confrontation. And when this self-confrontation comes in, it reveals your identity confusion that you have in you. You now begin to say, oh, so I didn't know myself before. I was wrong. I was in the wrong atmosphere. Wow. What can we say to this? I don't know. What can we say to this? Now let's see something that will help you. What is the cost of identity confusion? Let's see to that. Number one thing that you will see is that there'll be this chronic comparison. You always want to compare yourself. You compare your career, that is why you see, let me say something here. I'm not against the ladies. That's why you see they are always on TikTok or different social media platforms showing their body and so on. They are comparing their appearance. That's why you see that somebody who has money, you are flaunting your cars and your money on social media. You are comparing your success because you don't know yourself. There will be this chronic comparison because you don't know who you are. Because you know what? Everybody becomes your measuring stick. Everything becomes your measuring stick of you, who you are. Everything. Even your relationship, you want to flaunt it on social media and so on. Your progress, the same thing. You see, this comparison becomes actually exhausting, that you see that you will become more tired than even the person that that has that very app or that very social media platform, because you are trying to compare yourself. It becomes exhausting. There will be problem all around you. And sometimes you are fatigued because you are trying to compare yourself all the time. You're trying to compare yourself all the time with everything that you see. Then the second thing is that you must see is you begin to notice is this lack of direction. You will lack direction totally, because let me tell you something. Identity actually produces direction. But the confusion that you see, this identity confusion, it produces wandering. You just begin to wander everywhere. You're just everywhere. You are this, you are that, you are this, you are that. Only you are more than 300 people at the same time. 300 identity or 300 confused identity. Just because you just want to meet up, you want to be this, you want to be that. That is what I used to say, that many people are busy today, but they are not really purposeful. They are not useful. They are very busy. They are very active, but not intentional. Very active. They are working. They are doing everything. They are moving and not progressing. Can you understand that somebody is moving but is not progressing? And let me say this. Without your identity, your true identity, your activity becomes movement. Without meaning, you don't have meaning. It's just like you moving, so there's no meaning. There's no usefulness. There's no value. Then the third thing that we have is that you'll be vulnerable to manipulation. Everybody can manipulate you. I got to understand this through advertisers. They will advertise this, you run there. They will say, okay, when YouTube, they will tell you, okay, this is how to go about YouTube. This is how to go about this. And you will run after that. This is how to go about this. You run after that. This is how to go about this. You go after that. So for you to get 1,000 followers, you have to do this. You subscribers, you go this. To get this, you do this. At the end of the day, you are just here. You are there. You are there. You are there. Because why? You are so much manipulated because you don't know yourself. And this is one thing that the politicians, they know today in the world. Political people, they know it, so they know how to do it. The influencers, they will do that to you also too. Organizations will do that to you because why? They know that you don't really know yourself. And it is because you are craving for the desire to belong. You want to belong. You want to be part of it. You want to be that person, and so because of that, anything that comes, you are already in it. Another point is the fear of rejection. You feel that you're going to be rejected because you want to be your real self. The validation that we are looking for, you want to be validated. So because of that, anything they say, if they praise you, it inflates you. Criticism, they destroy you immediately. So why must he say this? Why? The thing is that you just outsource your identity. It's based on what people say. It's based on your emotions begin to work in that way. It's because you are looking for validation, external validation. Wow. 4 powerful things. I want to repeat them one more time again. Just saying them out. Number 1, you see the chronic comparison. Number 2, you see the lack of direction. Number 3, you see the vulnerability to manipulation. Then the last one is the fear of rejection. Can you see this? Can you see? Don't you think this is something that we need to work on? Take a deep breath again one more time. Now, let's get a journey back to yourself. I want you to return back to yourself. I love you to return back to yourself. Now, it is not really an event for you to discover yourself. It's a lifelong journey. It's a lifelong journey. You have to do some work to yourself. It is very uncomfortable. You must, 1, reflect. There must be reflection. Number 2, there must be awareness. You must observe. You must experience. You must have growth. You must have failure. You must have learning. You must learn to unlearn and relearn. Everything you must do these things I'm saying. And you see, you must begin to ask yourself these simple questions. Who am I? What really matters to me? What do I truly believe? What kind of person am I becoming? What is uniquely mine to contribute? These questions must mark that beginning of your authenticity. It must mark this very authentic beginning. Now, let us see something else again. What is the goal of this, your personal growth? What is the goal? Listen to me very carefully. The goal of this, your personal growth, is not becoming someone else. The goal is becoming fully yourself. Not a version shaped by fear or by one comparison or by expectation or by validation or whatsoever, but the version that emerges from you. The truth that emerges from you, replacing that illusion that is in you. The greatest discovery that I've seen that a person can make is not to discover a new opportunity. That's the truth. It's to discover themselves. See, let me tell you this, because when identity becomes clear, like I said from the beginning, direction becomes clearer, decisions become clearer, relationship becomes healthier. Your purpose become very, very much recognized. You see your purpose. Your growth becomes more intentional. And your life begin to move from confusion to what we call alignment and clarity. Wow. These are the things you must know. Like I said, this is a series that we're going on. We're going to go to the second episode. But before we go into that, I want to ask you some questions. I want you to ask yourself this question. Sit down and think about this. How would you describe yourself without mentioning your job, your achievements, your family, your possessions, and so on? How would you describe yourself without mentioning these things I've called? That's the first question. Then the second question I want to ask you is that what label has influenced how you see yourself? What is that thing they've told you that influences how you see yourself? I want you to think about that. Then the third question I want to ask you is that which part of your identity is authentic and which one are you performing or acting? Be sincere to yourself. Take a jotter and write these things down. Then the fourth thing I want to ask you is that what are you trying to prove and to whom? You are trying to prove something. Who are you trying to prove and to who? What are you trying to prove and to who? All right. Then the last one, which is the fifth question I want to ask you, is that if really nobody judges you, what kind of person will you become? What kind of human being will you become? These are 5 powerful questions I want you to answer to yourself. But I want to give you a key thought before we go. I want you to listen very carefully. That the greatest prison is not a prison of wars. It's not the prison that is in California. It's not the prison that is in South Africa. It's not the prison that is in Kenya. Those wars, those 4 wars. No, it's the prison of mistaken identity. The greatest freedom begins the very moment you start discovering who you truly are. Thank you so much for joining me for today. I am Daniel Patrick, your anchor person in this very series, and I'll be taking you through all the wonderful series that we have in this very episode. Like I said, we are starting with Who Am I? That's the first thing. That's the first series, this identity series, series 1. Who am I? And in the next episode, we're going to talk on something wonderful. I just want you to keep on subscribing, share, comment, like, send this very wonderful teaching to your friend. He needs it, she needs it. And I'll tell you the truth, he or she will be so glad that you send something like this to him. Feel free, send your comment, share, like, and subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. It is to help you that you will become impactful and useful in your generation. See you in the next episode.